Nikola Jokić had his way with the New York Knicks, doubling up their score in the first quarter en route to a Nuggets rout over New York. I'm Robin Lundberg here with Ben Pickman. And Ben, Jokić has sort of become the consensus MVP, and we see what he's doing out there on a night-to-night basis, scoring, assisting, doing everything on the box score. So if he's the MVP, does he also have a case as the best player in the NBA?
I mean, I think he has been the best player in the NBA this season, and in some ways, it's not really that close. You look at Nikola Jokić, he's had this unbelievable season, the 26, 11, and 8, and you name your advanced metric, estimated plus minus, WAR, box plus minus, 538 stat. He's number one in all of those, and a lot of the differentials are not even that close. You watch it, you can cite the numbers, and then you can watch him play, and you just see his unique ability to create so many different kinds of shots on offense, playmake in such a special way as a big. And he's even right now making up for the absence of Jamal Murray. The Nuggets really have not missed a beat with Jamal Murray out, and they're dealing with other injuries at large. And still, he's dominating in a way we saw earlier this year. He really is checking every single box off that you would want. You can make a strong case, Robin, that he should be the most improved player of the year, I think, right? This is a player who was at an all-star level. He was a perennial all-star, but now he has jumped to an MVP level, right? The front runner for MVP, deservingly so. I think he's been the best player in the league, and credit to him for making that jump, because it's really hard from go to all-star to MVP. We don't often see someone like the Joker take that leap.
Yeah, and it's an interesting point about most improved player. I think I'd give that to Julius Randle, but I hadn't thought about it like that, because I mean, I do see him in a different light this year. The way he slimmed down, the way he's moving out on the court. You almost had this picture of him as like this lumbering, skilled guy. Now he's putting all that skill in display, and it feels like it's coming at you, in a quick way. He's driving to the basket, stuff like that. And obviously he can shoot the ball. And I never put Jokić, and generally I don't put big men in that conversation. But now, I have to separate it a little bit, because I don't want to take that title off LeBron. I think it's always premature before the playoffs, but with his injury, with his age, we're getting to that stage, right? So there's these guys in the mix, and Jokić is now one of those guys, along with the likes of James Harden and Steph Curry and Giannis and Kevin Durant and whoever else I may be missing. And I never thought I would put him in that sort of conversation.
Right. I mean, I think it's certainly also fair, as you raised, to question, is he going to be the best player in the playoffs? Or if there's one player you want for the playoffs, is it Nikola Jokić? Or is it someone like Kevin Durant or LeBron when he's fully healthy, Kawhi Leonard, just to throw out some other names? I think that's really one of the big questions. But Jokić has dispelled the kind of stereotypes that we have about big guys, I think, already, right? In the playoffs, we so often think, a big guy can't be your best player. He's never going to get the ball in the last possession of the game and be able to create. He's able to do a lot of those things. He breaks through all the limitations we traditionally have for bigs. He's such a unique player in that regard, and that's why he's been so good during this regular season, and why he can be a star in the postseason. We've seen it previously coming out of the bubble. He was phenomenal last year, and it's why we can expect him to be pretty great this year as well. Now, Denver's title hopes, I think, are out the window with Jamal Murray gone, but maybe he even does give them a better chance than a lot of people, myself included, expected. The playoffs are a different animal. We've seen him succeed in the past, though, of course, there are some other guys, as you mentioned, LeBron James, a healthy LeBron James being one of them. We can't rule out to throw in the player you'd want in the postseason in a Game 7 scenario.
Yeah, and look, we do want to see that show improve in the playoffs. I mean, last year, he's been good in the playoffs, but Dwight Howard really limited him a little bit in that Lakers series. So can he still get his when he's the focus? I think the differentiation you bring up there with other bigs in him is that facilitation, because he is able to, be a playmaker with the ball in his hands, and that's typically not what we're thinking about with big guys.